Thanks for tuning in. So today I got something that I had before, something similar. I have a meat donair. My very first video that I made, I was eating a donair, and so I got another one. And a donair is a kind of a Canadian version of a gyro, and I bought it from the Mediterranean place across the street. So it's got lamb and beef, tzatziki, pickles, tomatoes, and some hot sauce on a pita bread, and they grill it. It's very good. And as a side dish, I got some rice with mushrooms and mushroom sauce and onions. Very good. And I'm not drinking my usual go-to orange bubbly. I'm drinking a Coca-Cola. You know, I miss drinking Coca-Cola out of bottles because, you know, for years they were in plastic bottles. I didn't like that. I didn't like, drinking it back, and then, it starts to collapse on you and makes that crinkly noise. And personally, I didn't think it tasted as good out of a plastic bottle, so I really miss these glass bottles. It might be in my mind, but I think it tastes better in a glass bottle. When I was a kid in my parents' store, we had these big wooden crates that the pop came in, and they were really heavy. I mean, the wooden crates by themselves were heavy. Never mind the glass bottles and all the pop that was in it. But, I still missed all the pop that was in bottles. I like the shape of the bottle, too. I mean, it's been the same shape for over 100 years, Gotta love it. So I'm going to try some of this. Wow. This little restaurant's just a hole in the wall. The guy's been there for, I guess, a couple of years now, but he does very good business. The other day I was driving by a second-hand store, and I stopped in. I like second-hand stores. I go to them quite a bit. So I went to this second-hand store where I go to a lot, and that's where I get all those groovy shirts I wear, those touristy shirts. And they had this old TV console type thing there, a great big stereo console, and it reminded me so much of my parents' TV console they used to have that they bought way back in, I think, about 1961. I remember they were so excited to get it because we had an old black and white TV. Then they got this big console. It was, I think it was a 24-inch black and white TV built into this big console with a turntable on one side and a AM radio with all the controls on the other side and a speaker on each side and the black and white TV in the middle. And this thing, if you put it against the wall, it was probably 6 feet wide, I'm sure, It was huge, but it was quite a showpiece. It was a nice furniture piece. My mom liked it. My parents were very proud of it. Mom would always polish it. I mean, it was kind of the same type of, surface as this. And if you went to open up the lid to play a record, you'd have to move her doily. She always had her doilies there, and she used to starch them and all that, and move the flowers off the doily off the lid, that kind of thing. But that was our TV anyway for years. One channel, black and white. This is good. They grill that like a pita bread. Well, it's like I said, the Canadian version of a gyro. But that little Mediterranean place sells a lot of really good food. But anyways, our TV, growing up, that was our entertainment. That was everything, That's what we got. All our news, our entertainment, everything. was about 6 years old, and I didn't understand what the importance of all that was or the significance. But my parents were just riveted to the TV. My dad would be sitting there in his chair, smoking his pipe, staring at the TV. My mom would come in, watch the TV, go back in the kitchen, drain the potatoes, come back in, watch some more TV, go back and poke the meatloaf, and that kind of thing. So the TV was like that was like the centerpiece of everything. Like I said, one channel, black and white. And everybody back then, every roof had a antenna, except for my dad's. He took an old bicycle wheel, put it up in the attic, and ran a wire up to it. Worked like a hot damn. He eventually got some rabbit ears, and they were good too. But I remember seeing February 9th, 1964, the Beatles are on TV, Unbelievable, seeing something like that. Ed Sullivan was a staple in our house. We always watched Ed Sullivan on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And seeing the Beatles on there just absolutely blew me away. And Sunday night was the only night that, us kids could stay up late because we could watch Ed Sullivan from 8 till 9 and Bonanza from 9 till 10. So we got to stay up late on Sunday night and watch that. So that was kind of cool. It was a big family night. But anyway, I remember, the moon landing, and even before that, when Robert Kennedy was assassinated, all these major events, that's where we got it all from. No internet, no Google, no Facebook, no YouTube, Not messy. This is good. This rice dish is good too. But anyway, being on TV was a big deal back then. Really big deal. I remember this mall, they had a new mall in the city I lived in, and one of the anchor stores had these big security cameras hanging out of the ceiling, like on conduits, these big video cameras, and they were advertising the fact that they now had video security, and beside each camera was a monitor, and these are right at the front entrance of the store, so people would walk by and they would wave at the camera and then walk back. They keep doing that, right? Myself included. I mean, nowadays there's video cameras everywhere, and nobody cares, right? I mean, we're so used to it. But just, seeing yourself on a TV screen was such a big deal. So anyway, I remember in 1967, I got to be on TV. There was a kids' variety show called Smokey's Cabin, and it was a half-hour show from 5 to 5:30 weekdays, Monday to Friday. To be eligible to be on the show, you had to have a birthday. Now, the host of the show, his name was Smokey. That was his stage name. Kind of like Mr. Rogers or Mr. Dress Up, but he was more like a cowboy. He had a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And, he played the guitar very talented. He'd have a big blank canvas. He'd draw a picture real quick. And, very, very talented. Good children's entertainer. So anyways, to get on the show, you had to have a birthday. And what you do is you send in a postcard with your birthday and your name and address and phone number. So, and they would draw them like the week before. So I remember they drew my show. We went down to the studio. Had to be there no later than, I think, 4:45, I think. And we're all in this big room. Now, when I used to watch the show at home, at the very beginning, they showed Smokey. You know, in the summertime, you'd be walking along through the woods and you go into a cabin. Or in the wintertime, you'd be driving a skidoo and you get off the skidoo and walk into this cabin. So I always thought that's where it was, right? And I couldn't understand why we were going downtown to the studio, but I didn't realize the opening shots were exterior shots. I didn't know anything about that. So we go downstairs into this big studio, and there's this backdrop, like a painted backdrop of a cabin. It's got the back and then a side and a side like that stuck up about maybe 10 feet. And that was what I was used to seeing on TV, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow. I wasn't sure if I should be disappointed or surprised or what, but and all these really bright lights hanging from the ceiling, like really, really bright, like whoa, you know. And so anyway, so the show starts and we go on there, and Smokey would just ask you your name and what school you went to, and I'd sing a few songs. And so my parting gift was, one of them was a 6-pack of Fresca, you know, the soda pop Fresca, and that was new at the time, or new to me anyway. And I remember when I got home, I was sharing with my family for dinner, and my neighbor phoned my friend's mother, and she was saying, yeah, I saw you on TV, and just, what was that drink they gave you? And I told her, and she said, I'll have to try that. So, because like I said, I'd never tried Fresca before. This would have been, like I said, 1967, so it could have been around for years for all I know, but it was the first time for me. Sorry. Anyway. I was on TV again. A few years later, they had this Children's Day parade where it was all about kids, like, you know, parks and rec type thing, and you decorate floats. And I saw myself on TV. They videotaped that, and I think I watched it that Saturday. I could see myself, going by the camera for about like 2.5 seconds. It was like I said, being on TV was like a big deal, you know. And a lot of my school chums, they all got to be on that same show, that Smokey's Cabin. And a lot of them would be in the parade, whatever. But anyways, so fast forward to about 1970. And 1970, I'm in grade 8. And I'm playing in a band. There's 5 of us. We're all the same age except for the guitar player, the lead guitar player. I think he was about 2 years older. But his little brother played bass. And my buddy Richard was kind of the front man. He sang and played guitar. And him and I were very good buddies, very tight. Anyway, we used to practice out. The 2 guys in the band, Bob and Jim, they were brothers. We'd practice in their basement. And our friend, another guy named Bob, he used to watch us, and now his dad had a noon hour TV show. And it's funny because as a kid I knew 4 people whose parents worked in media. 2 of them worked in radio, and 2 of them worked in TV. So our friend Bob, he said, I bet you my dad would want to put you on his TV show. And we thought, oh man, you gotta be kidding. I don't think so. Because we didn't think we were good enough. I said, oh I'm gonna go tell my dad to come and hear you guys. So we thought, well, can't hurt. So we used to play songs like, House of the Rising Sun and, Creedence Clearwater and Three Dog Night. The easiest stuff we could. So anyway, we practiced and practiced, and then Bob one day goes and tells his dad, and his dad, he thought, well, another rock and roll band, but he thought because his son had asked him, he'd at least give us a listen. So he came down one afternoon, and I remember when he walked in, I thought, wow, because I'd seen him on TV so many times, but I'd never seen him in person, right? So he's kind of like a local celebrity. And we all got real nervous. But anyways, he's kind of stood back there. So he said, okay, you guys, I think I just wanted to get this over with, right? Play your song so I can go back to the football game. So we started playing. And we played a song, and then he was standing there talking to the father of one of the kids in the band. And then we played another song, and we just finished that. We're getting ready to play another one. He goes, that's it, that's enough. We thought, oh my God, he hates us. He said, you guys are fantastic. He said, I'm going to put you on my show. And we thought, whoa, we couldn't believe what we were hearing, because, he's going like this, like he wanted us to stop, but he was just saying, you don't need to play anymore. You guys are good. So, he said, come down to the studio, I'll arrange it, and you can come down there and tape a segment, and I'll put you on my show. Now, his show was from noon till 1 weekdays, like a noon-hour variety type show, talk show type thing. And so I was kind of confused because I knew it was like a live show, like Smokey's Cabin, but he wanted us to come down to the studio at nighttime. And I didn't realize that some of the stuff was taped, like tape segments, but I didn't know anything about that. Excuse me. So, I remember it was like January, February. So cold. Oh, it was freezing. We drove down the studio, and our parents took some of us down in cars and some of our equipment and that kind of thing. And we pulled into the loading bay. Go right from the loading bay to the studio. There's a young fella, he's a technician, kind of a long-haired guy. Cool. They had a riser for the drums, That's all I played. And so we set everything up. He says, no, here's what I want you to do. Turn your amps down all the way down, and then turn them back up just a little bit so you can hear them. Now we thought, wow, that's weird. We weren't used to that at all. If anything, we were trying to play as loud as we could most of the time. And we thought that's going to be weird because we won't have a PA. I won't be able to hear Richard singing. Might not be able to hear each other. And the drums might drown everything out, We're kind of thinking, wow, we're screwed. So we got everything set up, and he said, okay, just let's do a practice number. I think so. We started playing. I think it may have been Down on the Corner by Creedence Clearwater, so we started playing. And then after that, they played it back. And surprisingly, we were all in sync. We could hear each other. We were in sync. But we had practiced so much that we just really knew the songs. And when they played it back, I couldn't believe that was us. Because we'd never been, professionally recorded before with, everything all mic'd and everything. It was like, wow, I just couldn't believe that was us. so we started taping. And we taped 3 songs. One of them was Proud Mary by Creedence Clearwater. We also did a Jose Feliciano version of Light My Fire, but still it had all the guitars and drums. And I can't remember the third song, but so they did a couple of cool camera shots, and the TV cameras back then, they had 2 cameras, but they were huge, great big cameras on wheels, like a big round base with wheels, and the guys would move them around, and it was just pretty big, right? And so that was kind of cool, you know. And so I remember one of the technicians saying that videotape was about 1,000 times more expensive than audio tape, like back then anyway. And I knew nothing about videotape. I, didn't get it. So anyways, about 5 or 6 days later, he puts that segment on his TV show on a Friday and a Monday. So Friday he played our first 2 songs, and Monday he played our 3rd song. So Friday, back in those days, our lunch hour was more than an hour long, you know. So I came home, and I was watching the show, and of course, you know, he introduces us, and there we are, you know, on his show, a tape segment, and my whole family's gathering around, and it's like, wow, you know, I couldn't believe it. It sounded really good. We looked good. And he came around, he interviewed each one of us and asked us a few questions, and my mom was so proud, you know. So anyways, so that was cool. So I went back to school, and it was like instantly all the girls who didn't notice me suddenly liked me, and all the boys wanted to beat me up. Not really, but it was kind of a weird vibe. But anyway, after that we were just booming with the gigs. Really helped a lot. And so, years later, I wanted to track down that tape. So my friend Richard, who was the singer in the band, I had moved out here to the West Coast. He was still back there. I said, why don't you look in to see if you can track down that tape? He told me that he had tried a little bit. He didn't think that it existed, but he told me he had made an effort. And so I wasn't sure, you know, if he really did or not. I mean, if he told me he did, I'm sure he did. But a few years later, his little brother started working there. And I asked his little brother, I said, do you think you could make a real effort to track down that tape? And because he worked there, he had a lot of, you know, inside, you know, help and whatever. So he did his best, but he said, no, it's not there. It doesn't exist. You know, because back then, like I said, videotape was so expensive. Unless the Queen came to visit or something, they would just tape over top existing tape. So, around 2006 thereabouts, I wrote an email to the studio back in Saskatoon, and I asked them, I explained my situation. I gave them as much information as I could. You know, the name of the band, the year, approximately what month, you know, the name of the show we were on. You know, it's kind of like doing a Google search. You put in as much info as you can, hope to get a hit. So they got back to me rather quickly and said they show. They had a few, promo segments of the show from years ago, but that was it. They did their best, and they could not find anything that remotely resembled what I was looking for. So I thought, oh darn. So they suggested going to the capital city, and and looking through like all the artifacts, And so I thought, okay, well, I'll try that. I got a hold of them, I emailed them, it came the same information, and unfortunately, I came up empty-handed, because I was just hoping that there may have been a tape saved somewhere of that, because I would love to have seen it, but there was nothing, unfortunately, so it was very disappointing. I remember 2 years before I moved out here, we got our second channel. We now had 2 channels. Wow. When we moved out here, I think we had 7. I was still delirious. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd watch Match Game 74, Hollywood Squares, Happy Days. I loved watching the rock shows like In Concert and all that. Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, Midnight Special. All the stuff I've been missing all those years, But anyways, TV back then, like I said, was a big deal. I mean, we're still kind of like that. I mean, if you see somebody on TV, I remember about 10 years ago, I was downtown, and there was a news crew conducting a person on the street interview. And they asked me something about the municipal election or something. And my neighbor said, "Hey, I saw you on TV." And so we're still kind of like that. I mean, if you're on the news, I guess it's kind of a big deal. I mean, depending on what you're on there for, right? But anyway, I'm getting ready to finish off this sandwich. Oh, that's so good. Sorry about that. But back then, if you were outside playing, let's say there's 20 kids playing outside, and somebody came out and said, "Hey, the Beatles are on TV." Everybody would go running into the house. Didn't matter whose house it was. Nobody gave a damn. Didn't matter whose TV, but we just stand there with our jaws dropping, staring at this black and white TV. That was our world, in living black and white. Well, I'm getting full. That rice was good too. But TV's changed so much over the years. I mean, like I said back then, that little 24-inch black and white, that was our connection to the world, It's just unbelievable. And nobody back then had 2 TVs. Nobody I knew. episodes of, well, let's say Ed Sullivan from the 60s. A lot of the performers, they're always wearing very colorful outfits in the background, very colorful, like multicolored psychedelic. That's because color was coming of age. Color TV was, coming into to be very popular. So people would really capitalize on that. Prior to that, it didn't really matter. Well, that's just okay. Well, it gets a bit messy towards the end. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I just love Coca-Cola in a bottle. Same with beer. I like my beer in a bottle. I'm trying to scrape a plate. Wow. Well, my friends, that was a good meal. And I thank you for tuning in as always. I love your comments. A lot of you have been so supportive and so helpful, and I really appreciate it. Anyways, you're all wonderful, and I hope that you're healthy and happy, and that you're in a good place and surrounded by love. So you take care, and I'll see you next time. So cheers.